And so, eventually, the day was there. I roughly knew that any day now I would meet her. And it was exactly the day which I anticipated it would be. I was taking a walk through the school during our main break when I saw Yori and two other girls walking in the direction towards us. As my heart began to beat like crazy and I thought I was not going to get any air, my body felt so weak. All of a sudden, at that time, while I kept on walking like nothing was going on, I recalled the same feeling. It was the same like before the Redux. How stupid must this be? I have actually ended up in an even more nerve-wracking situation. And one would think that I would have learned how to handle such situations. But no, just like before, somehow my experience did not help me much. It seemed I felt so locked in this world that I experienced the same limits like before. How could this happen? Here I am, the power, experience, and the knowledge, and I cannot make anything out of it. What kind of a person am I? I thought I have changed. Am I really the same person deep inside? Miori was coming closer, with every step. The thoughts in my mind were faster and faster. What to do? What to do? Grit, not grit. I felt like the whole week of analyzing was worth precisely nothing now. I thought I could not do this. What was I to do? Miori came even closer, and the second now she would notice me. This was bad. I did not have a plan, not even a clue to what to do. I practically not handed her a code once. I only handed her a code once. There. She saw me. I felt I was going to lapse or something. I thought that even if I had a plan, I could not do anything, because I felt I could not breathe. This terrible feeling was blocking my throat. But I had to do something. Another millisecond passed. I would have to decide now. Even now was way too long. I was practically staring at her. Not good, but I did not know what to do. Was it too late? Look away. What to do? I felt milliseconds dash past me with no result. Already I felt strange. This was too long. I think she did not know what to do either. Maybe that was good. Maybe I really should greet her then. Another time has passed. I felt that maybe she even expected something. No, that could not have been it. It was because of the strange situation. Greet her, I kept telling myself. But what if she will be surprised that I greeted her? She will not respond and I will look like an idiot. Of course, there is the question of why she even looks at me that long. What should I do then? And so, I did the most idiotic thing I could have done. I started to make the silent hi, but because I had to look at her, I became afraid and I did not finish it. So it looked like I wanted to greet her, but I did something so strange that it looked like I was not sure, or that was doing some kind of, let's just say I must have looked ridiculous. Miori passed and I just wanted to die. This was the most humiliating moment of my entire life. And it started so well, by handing Miori that code. I had the upper hand, I was in control. No, you weren't. I could easily have greeted her from my upper position. Why is this clear to me now? Great. Am I really so stupid I could not figure it out? Yes. Although I felt enormously relieved that this moment is behind me. I wanted to take some action. I was still thinking about the situation when I saw Miori again. There she was. She was buying something in the cafeteria. There were several other people in line, but she was last. Now, this was my chance. Or was it? Now she was almost defenseless, standing in line. I could easily stand behind her and maybe she would turn around. I should go now. I walked past the cafeteria, avoiding an eye contact with Miori. God damn it. What an idiot. I wasn't able to do anything. I was afraid. I was perhaps shy. I was indecisive. No. I was not going to throw away my chances with Miori by doing something foolish again. Was that a good thing? When I came home, I thought about it in quiet. As the hours went by, I wasn't so sure. I should at least have acted more confidently. How is it possible that after all I know, In all my supremacy, I am not able to simply say hello. Well, your supremacy doesn't exist. Why? I was almost crying. I was crying after playing Narciso. Not something like that. This was so hard. It was too much. I took a deep breath and analyzed the situation. Well, nothing good came out of it. I failed to act the way I wanted. Or simply said, I failed to blame myself. This Miori, it's as if she had some kind of power over me. I now believe that whatever might come, I would still feel this way with her. It was silly in a way, but it was the truth. Miori was my first love. I could only make this go away by acting and making something out of the situation I was now. I remembered all about the Redux. The reason was Miori. I dreamed about her so much. I had so many regrets over her that I just had to do it. And it was true that today was a setback. But there will be days. I cheered myself on. If I just kept focused and be myself, it would work out. Just no more silly things like this. Okay. I sighed and prepared myself to go to sleep. Miori. This was the last time I let the opportunity pass me by. Never more. Never more, Miori. Yeah, right. Why I don't believe in that? And so I somehow managed to get through 8 dance classes. It was near the end of November, and when we were returning from the classes, it was already dark outside. The city was shining in those yellow street lamps. I somehow made peace with my situation. What could I do? I accepted the whole situation the way it was and kept on dreaming what I could do next. About Miori, because I wasn't yet giving up. There still was some hope, wasn't there? It couldn't be impossible now. At school, I had absolutely no problems, so I could do pretty much whatever I wanted. Of course, that meant thinking about Miori. On Friday, the 27th of November, I was supposed to bring some papers to my mom's work and take some papers for my father along the way. It would probably be unproblematic, but my mom got held up somehow, and so I had to wait for her almost an hour. Then I had to run to make it in time for my father. When I was finished, I barely caught the bus, but anyhow, by this time I knew I would be late for my dance class. Very late. Darn! I was very angry. Of course, this wasn't school, I wouldn't get in trouble, but in a way this hurt even more. I thought that maybe because I would jump into the middle of the dance class, I could take a girl that no one chose. Or wait until we would switch partners and try to dance with someone from A or C. The bus driver took his sweet time. When I finally got off and looked at my watch, I realized it was around halftime. But I wanted to dance. I really did it. It was so nice to see all those girls and to be nice to them. I tried to run even faster, but then I saw Miori. She ran from the other side towards the entrance, same as me. Our paths were about to merge as we would reach the entrance. Miori, she was late. As well? All this time I was thinking about the chances I should have taken, about the one I didn't take, about how terrible it was that I didn't dance with her, and here I had the situation, which would probably never happen if I'd stick to my original plan. This was all so complicated. The thing is to change plans in the most unexpected moment, man. Miori, she's here. Shirley was there and it was wonderful. We reached the entrance and Miori held the door for me because she was there first. I thanked her and just said something, whether she was late too. She replied and we both smiled. Now even the fact that I have given her the code was something that counted. We were like friends or something. And then I thought that now we'll be able to greet each other because of this situation. It was unbelievable. Just yesterday I had completely nothing, and now there I was, in the same kind of situation I was before. It was as if I didn't make the mistake with the dance, I got yet another chance. This day would mark the beginning of everything. I would do everything possible, I swore. I was not going to get a third chance now. I understood it. Miori quickly went to her hall, and so did I. We just said goodbye and that was it. But it was so wonderful, so unexpected, that I was dreaming the whole dance class, I guess. I think I danced with a Akari after I picked a girl from another class that had no partner, as there really were too many girls. Antimony. I could finally breathe again. There was a terrible burden. I threw off my chest, and everything was back in its good track. In its good tracks. I had so much more energy, and I was happier than before. Finally, this was me again. I could start to dream again, and also use my knowledge. Or maybe stop dreaming. For instance, when I got called by the teacher to answer questions related to the subject we were discussing. I knew completely everything from geography and all the connections like things about state budgets, insurance systems and policies that a 16-year-old does not normally know yet. I knew it all. While having chemistry with our very strict teacher who generated a real aura of fear whenever she came into the classroom, for example, I was called on to solve a problem on the board. Everyone was relieved it did not hit them, and normally I would be on one very small and stressed out boy. But now I just took the chalk and tried to solve the problem. It was a tough one, and since chemistry was never my strong side, I barely managed to solve it. Still, there was no stress, and I was not afraid to even communicate with the teacher. And I really learned something. On that particular day, I knew the answer to a question she asked me, because I kind of remembered it from that one time before when I didn't know it. She made me feel it that time, and I remembered the name of that metal. It was antimony. It was never my intention to undermine her authority by not being intimidated by her, and since I really didn't, she had nothing to complain about. I know she noticed I was not scared, but I respected her and her authority, so I guess I was a friend. And she even smiled a little, because she taught me how to solve the problem. Dance with me. It was December, and that day I was delighted to wake up to see the first snowfall, because the real atmosphere would now set in. Most of the days now would be very grey, virtually no sun. Not to mention Friday we would go home in snow. Winter was here. For us there were two bright spots in this month. First, the Christmas holidays, and before that the final ball to wrap up our dance classes. We got our certificates during the last lesson, and the ball was next week was supposed to be the occasion to show what we have learned. Come to think of it, the ball would take place in the park complex, which was bigger than the two halls we practiced in. The not so good part was that all our parents were invited, which would probably destroy every opportunity of having a good time. On that final ball, something so beautiful happened to me that I still remember it as one of the most wonderful moments of my life. I remember the build-up of the tension before the ball. Mori and I were not talking about anything else. At every dance occasion, the significance of the first dance was enormous. Normally, if we would take someone from our class, it had nothing to say, but if you would choose someone else as your first dance, then you would do almost half a confession. That was true. I was carefully deciding whether to go for Miori, logically. The trouble was, with the looks of all the parents, I was so intimidated that I knew that if I was ever going to ask Miori, I would have to decide it on the spot, very spontaneously. Go for it! Really, the thought of repeating that humiliating run towards Miori seemed suicidal. And the parents watching, what would they think? There was just no way I was going to do that. Better there was no way I could do it. Upon discussing this matter with Mori, we came to the conclusion that the ball would be terrible. I mean, what good would it be with the parents around? And teachers? Yeah, that was definitely too much. We were never going to have a good time. 2 days before the Saturday of the ball, we walked the school hallways with Mori, remembering how good it all was. Now we are looking forward to the ball. Only very moderately, no big deal. It was not only I who has found a dream girl during the dance class. Mori also dared to ask a girl from 2C, on one of the last 3 classes. Her name was Kotone, and he showed her to me on the second lesson, and has his eyes on her ever since. She was nice, admittedly, but naturally, Miori was infinitely more beautiful. We are both nice. We had quite a big, tough, a good-natured argument over this. In a general point of view, I absolutely had to admit Kotone was really pretty, prettier than Miori, who was nearly as popular as Kotone in her class. I think Mori would like to believe I chose Miori because she was less popular and therefore I had much better chances. But that was not the case, and he knew it. Maybe I sensed just a little bit of envy in his behavior. He had no chance and really no reason to go for Kotone at the ball. I, on the other hand, was considering Miori, and I actually dared to take the chance when I danced with her on the second lesson. Either way, I knew Mori would end up with our girls, and I would too. I would consider but no, asking Miori for the first dance was impossible. Besides, the teachers and parents got the very first dance, so the significance has gone down anyway. We did not understand how stupid the dance teachers organized this thing. It seemed the parents would stay with us until the very end. And so, the day came. A very ordinary day, I have to say, because getting ready with my parents took away 80% of the excitement. At least we took the car. It would have been beyond my body's limits to take the humiliation of me and my parents dressed up in a bus. And in the most nightmarish case, talking about how I look or similar. What was there to say about the meaning? I was extremely happy to see some people from my class, so instantly I joined them and left my parents to talk with other parents. I was saved. Now the evening did not seem so bad after all. I kept an eye out for Miori, but I could not see her. However, there was a class-oriented seating pattern, so I would know where to look for her. I wondered what the situation was with Mori and Kotone. He did not seem to be that involved, but I wondered whether he would make a move later in the night. There was a big chance, however, that she would be taken all night because she was so popular. Come to think of it, if I was not too stupid, I could ask Miori for a dance when the situation was right, say after a few hours, when everything has loosened up. Why not going from the very beginning? And why should I not? I mean, we greeted, so that meant there was nothing strange. Well, the thing is, you are not the only guy in the whole school. Well, in this, I don't know how you can call it. Dance classes, whatever. And there might be another guy who is wiser than you. Wiser or more wise? Well, doesn't matter. Now I had a plan, and the determination rose with every minute. It must have had a real side effect on Mori, however, because he knew I was in a way more advanced stage with Miori than he was with Kotone. He would not ask her. Then the dances began. I had to endure the dance with my mom, who was obviously enjoying herself while I tried to calm her down and get the dance over with. When we finished, the dance instructor, who was acting like a host of the evening, thanked everyone for coming and in a short speech summarized the whole dance classes. When the instructor ended his speech, he called for the first dance of the evening. I was probably going to take Yoshiko, if not, then Kumi, and if she was taken, Rin. 2 backups. However, there was no being nervous. God damn it, what is wrong with you? Run for Miori! Immediately! It did not matter. We were friends and there were no problems with dancing with each other. But then the instructor changed the subject. The whole time the boys would choose the girls. Now it was to be different. For the first dance, and for the first dance only, the girls were supposed to choose the boys. This was great! I looked at Mori. He was delighted. Finally, some action. Alright. Fingers crossed. It was really a romantic situation, just imagining that a girl would choose you. I knew, for instance, Kumi really liked my dancing. I was wondering if she would come. That was so great. The instructor then said some more things from which I do not remember a thing, and then said the words, "Lady's choice." I was so happy. I could not wait. Our girls were a little surprised, and we watched that night with delight, Mori and I. There you have it, now they knew how it was. But suddenly I felt someone behind me. That someone came to me, and this was not happening. I already saw Kumi and Nami walking in our direction when the person emerged in front of me. Miori. I still had a funny feeling when I greeted her in school, whenever we met. I was still a little shaking afterwards, but this was just too much. Come on. Miori was there, and she asked me for a dance. Yes! Understand that the first absolutely unbelievable thing that happened to me, the dance with Miori, the second lesson, was my own doing. But this was different. This was like luck. Can I actually be so lucky? Is it even possible? The girl you think about all the time, during classes, breaks, at home, who is something like an angel to you, that this girl comes up to you and asks you to dance. Not only did that mean that I was worthy, did that also mean she liked me? Because what other explanation could there be? I did not react unnaturally, for although my head was full of thoughts. It is surprising how I managed to act calmly on the outside while so many thoughts speeded through my head. But after a while, I just let it go. I felt so wonderful because I was chosen. Miori, thank you. That was the most beautiful moment of my entire life. Yes! Yet, this wasn't the start of our relationship. Because there was no relationship. What happened? I don't know. I felt the moment being so magical that after the ball, I did not do anything. For my defense, I have to say, there was nothing I could do. Yeah, for sure. I did not want to be intrusive, and most of all, I did not want to do anything wrong. I did not want to ruin what I had and what I have accomplished. You accomplished nothing. In a way, it was better to have a chance of doing something. I spent days and days to come thinking about Miori. Luckily, I did not have her phone number or anything, so I was not tempted to start some foolish action. If I had been rushing things, maybe it would already be over. This way, I could still hope and dream. And I hoped and dreamed. I dreamed for months. In this summer, however, I knew it was all lost. I do not even remember why I lost my interest in Miori. Are you fucking kidding me? Or maybe I did not lose. I still cannot think of anyone as beautiful as her, and I have really never seen anyone come closer to her beauty. Maybe I had other things on my mind, and even when I occasionally met her in the school, it was only a fraction of the tension and excitement from the dance classes times. Still, my heart would always beat much faster when I saw her. And so, now, there I was, with my chance to do something. I did want to make something out of the friendship with Miori. But what to do now? Move your ass! In the process of making everything even better than before, I managed to score high with the code of the first lesson. Then I fatally failed on asking her to dance and almost made an idiot out of myself when I half greeted her. Luckily, I then straightened the thing out. We had that one time we were late, and it seemed to me that everything was going fine. In a way, I thought I had even better chances. Over the last few dance lessons, this became clearer and clearer to me. I could do it. I could actually be able to have the only girl of my dreams. And so, as I have already realized, my parents were no longer an annoying part of my life, but I really enjoyed being with them. When we arrived at the Old Banks Park complex, I had no particular plan for the action concerning Miori. It would be probably best if I just would be myself. I was quite successful with the normal approach with all our girls, because my experience showed naturally, and since it was different from the way our boys behaved, it attracted them, I had guessed. In a way, I was successful with the same method with Miori, the code. So I would probably be best off not thinking about it too much. After I danced with Mom that evening, we sat down for the instructor's speech. When he was finished, he made the announcement that it would be ladies' choice. I sat there. Yeah, I have thought of a possibility that Miori would not come for me, since the events have been so different before the Redux. But if it would not work, I was determined to ask her to dance myself. She would have no place to hide. It felt good to be a boy, because I could decide on the moves I made. Of course, it had major drawbacks, but that evening it felt like all the troubles, shaky knees, strange stomach feelings, and dizzy heads were worth it. Here it was, ladies' choice! I waited. Then, someone was standing in front of me and asked me for a dance. I saw her come, and I did not believe my eyes. I got so nervous I felt the rush of blood in my head. I turned around to see Kotone. I'm sorry, but what is happening right now? She stood there and asked me for a dance. In a hustle, I looked for Miori. She danced with someone else. So, not even an attempt. And then I got it. Mori. That was his girl. Now I was in trouble. First, I have someone, then even the one he likes comes to me? There was no logic in this one. Really, why Kotone? And she must have rushed really hard to catch me, because I already saw our girls heading my way. Where does D sit? Well, it was not all that close. She must have been really quick. And how did I even end up in a league with her? She was one of the most popular girls in her class. Mori did not even mount his hopes too high. I think he was okay with the fact that he dared to ask her and go to dance. He was not in her league, just like I was not. But I was delighted nevertheless. I mean, there is the girl, quite probably the most popular and pretty girl of her classroom, and she dances with me. Wait, but what if it was just some kind of joke? Or, I don't know, Mori danced with her and she wanted to know what his best friend is like. This was horrible. And what was I going to say to Mori? He's going to be dead down after this. I spent the entire rest of the evening dancing with the girl from our class. I did not dance too much, not nearly as much as the time before, because I was kind of thinking. I dispatched Mori to take a walk with me outside. I told him what a shock that was for me. We walked a little on the fresh air. When we came back, neither of us wanted to dance. We sat at the table in the defensive position. That night, on my way home, I stared out of the car, thinking about Kotone. She was so different than Miori. We talked quite a bit when we danced. The most horrible thing was that we understood each other instantly. I cannot explain it. She had a very natural way of talking and she was funny, smart, and you could talk about serious things with her too, anytime. At least that's the impression I got after a 4-minute dance. The terrible part of the story was that I did not have it before the Redux. I had no idea of how to react, what to do. That was the end. Mori, our friendship probably was in danger. Me and Kotone. Miori, she didn't. And it was over. I completely see no logic in your thinking. The dance classes were over. You are in the same fucking school. I thought I still loved Miori. And I decided nothing was going to prevent me from doing what I wanted to do. Nothing was going to destroy my dream with Miori. Yeah, so maybe you move your ass to her. Kotone is just a person. I don't love her. And that's all that matters. For now, this was enough for me. There will be new days. Miori.